I didn't raise my voice when he said it. "You're outdated. We're done here," the CEO hissed across the glass table, like he was brushing lint off a suit. I replied quietly, "Understood." That was the moment the retirement trust activated its voting rights. By Monday morning, the board convened an emergency meeting with one question choking the room. Who just fired the person who owns 76% of the shares? I should rewind. Betrayal only makes sense when you understand how much you gave first. 13 years. That's how long I ran my wife's father's company as if it were my own spine. I didn't inherit it, I built it. I walked in when it was a respectable corpse and taught it how to breathe again. I missed birthdays. I turned down offers. I made enemies disappear with balance sheets instead of fists. When I started, the company was worth $6.4 million on a generous day. When I finished, it was worth $85 million. I didn't do it for applause. I did it because family was supposed to mean something. At first, it did. Sunday dinners, private jokes, my father-in-law calling me son when the wine loosened his tongue, my wife holding my arm when investors circled like wolves. I thought loyalty was mutual. I thought sweat counted as blood. I was wrong. The night it happened was ordinary. That's what still irritates me. We were seated around the dining table. Linen napkins, soft lighting, practiced smiles. My wife's hand rested lightly on my knee. Her father cleared his throat, the way men do before delivering news they've rehearsed. He smiled, she smiled. Then they said it together, like a toast. "Your wife's new husband will take over now." The words didn't land immediately. They floated. Ridiculous. Wrong shape. My brain tried to correct them. New husband. I looked at my wife. She didn't look back. Her smile didn't crack. That was the moment I understood I had already been replaced. At the table, in the company, in the story they were telling themselves. My heart sank. I smiled back anyway. Years of boardrooms had trained me well. The next morning at work changed everything, not because they fired me, not yet, because the doors didn't open for me anymore. Access revoked, assistants suddenly confused, meetings rescheduled without explanation. My calendar hollowed out like a gutted building. I didn't confront anyone. Pain is loud, planning is silent. I reviewed documents I had signed years ago without drama, clauses buried under trust and wine. I reread the retirement structure my father-in-law insisted on, back when he claimed he wanted to protect the future. I noticed names, percentages, control mechanisms, and I smiled, this time alone. They thought ownership was about titles. I knew it was about leverage. For months, I prepared without changing my routine. Same arrival time, same neutral expression. I let them underestimate the quiet man they believed they had already erased. I documented everything: emails, board minutes, the sudden appointment of a successor with no vote. I let their arrogance generate evidence for me. I shifted assets legally, cleanly. I activated advisors who had been waiting for my call for years. I consolidated shares that had been scattered by design. Old favors came due, numbers aligned. The retirement trust had been created to protect the family. It ended up protecting me. The execution was simple. Simple things hurt the most. The CEO, my replacement, my wife's future, called me into his office late Friday afternoon. He wanted the satisfaction of saying it to my face. Men like him always do. "You're outdated. We're done here." I nodded. Understood. He thought that was submission. It was consent. At 9:02 a.m. Monday, the trust voted. At 9:03, the board realized control had shifted. At 9:04, the CEO's authority evaporated on paper. At 9:07, legal counsel began sweating. By 9:15, my phone rang. I didn't answer. The emergency meeting was chaos dressed in suits. My wife avoided my eyes. My father-in-law's hands shook as he read the agenda. When I finally spoke, the room went silent, not because I was loud, but because silence now belonged to me. I didn't accuse, I didn't explain, I stated facts. Ownership percentages, breaches of fiduciary duty, unauthorized succession, the trust's automatic triggers. When the vote concluded, the outcome wasn't dramatic, just final. The CEO was dismissed by the person he had just fired. My wife cried in the hallway. My father-in-law aged 10 years in 10 minutes. Their betrayal didn't end in screaming, it ended in signatures. That was the point. In the weeks that followed, I stepped away, not out of defeat, but completion. I sold strategically. I exited cleanly. I left them with the company they wanted and the knowledge they couldn't control it anymore. People ask if it hurt. Of course it did, but pain is temporary. Power is not. I didn't destroy them. I let them watch me win without them.